You might have heard of some of the fires this year in Yosemite, and this one is just put out. You can see a lot of the damage. I can still smell the smoke, actually, right here. We're just on our way into Yosemite. That's what that devastation looks like, if you wondered. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, at least. It's just gone. But it'll come back. Obviously, that area there was burned recently as well. What they did here with the fire is they couldn't just put it out. You know, it's just too big. And what they did manage to direct it toward the previous burn. So the area that burned last year helped to put out the fire from this year, because when it got there, there was nothing left to burn. What do you think of when you think of Yosemite?
I think of Yosemite Sam.
Me too. I think, open the door, open the door, open the door.
Close it. So we pulled over because there were a lot of cars behind us. We're leaving the park, and we noticed there's another burn area, but the trees are okay. John, what do you have to say about that?
I got out to get me a cold pie, and I smelled something. I thought, well, somebody's barbecuing or something. Then I realized, oh, Lord Jesus, there's a fire. I ran for my life. I didn't even get my shoes. I ran for my life.
And then the smoke got me. I got bronchitis. Ain't nobody got time for that. I just couldn't resist.
There's something else we don't get a lot of in Michigan.
Yeah.
Blue sky.
Exactly.
Anyway, we're on our way to Lower Falls. There are no falls right now because obviously
It's
this
fall.
this is the dry season. But right there, you can see the stains of water.
When we flew in the airplane from Vegas to Stockton, we knew we were going to go over some cool spots. And as we were looking out the window, or as I was looking out the window, I looked down and I said, I think that's Yosemite right there. And we could see the Yosemite Valley. And this is what I saw from the airplane.
That is El Capitan.
So there was that, and then beyond, which goes into the valley, you can see it from the plane. I wish I had gotten the GoPro at that point and taken some video. It is zoomed so that we could see from there what we were going to see today.
Yeah.
But it was cool to be able to see it from the airplane, and then
It was like
be
our
able
own private helicopter ride.
It was from about 13,500 feet.
Yes. But, I mean, it looks just like the pictures, only better, of course.
And this is just the beginning, so this is
Yeah.
cool. This is kind of the entranceway into Yosemite Valley.
There's a plane right there.
It sure is.
Great horny toads!
So where ocean beaches, sand is crushed shells, and in Michigan beaches, sand is eroded. Is it limestone? Sandstone? This sand is granite. Granite granules. That's why it's shimmery shiny. I don't know if it comes through. It's pretty cool. To us. These songs are originals by my son, Adam Amos. Adam is the guitar teacher at the Guitar Center in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Adam, these songs are perfect and fabulous. Thank you so much.
Lots of moments.
Isn't there? It's really nice for us to be here at this time of year because of the foliage. The trees are changing color, which is nice. We got to see a little bit of that back home.
And it's warm. I mean, it's
really warm. I'm
like
warm in this
76.
shirt. We're wearing shorts.
You want to take that shirt off?
I'm going to take the shirt off in a moment. But we're on this little hike. It's a mile and a half loop maybe. Very simple little hike.
It's the Cook's Meadow hike.
What we've done is we've come down here. We're staying outside the park in Mariposa.
As always.
And it's about an hour and a half drive in here, and then we drove into the valley and we're getting our bearings, figuring out what's where, and then we'll come back tomorrow and do more now that we know what to do.
And maybe take the bikes, because these paths are nice and flat, and they're paved.
Yeah.
Easily accessible. This is so doable for almost every age and physical capability. There's stuff to see.
So I'm sure this used to be, like I just mentioned, a raging river. It was probably a half or a quarter mile wide at this point. Who knows how deep. What's left of that river at this time of year
You want to walk down there?
is right here.
See?
The app shows we are on it.
We are on it. There's a great app in Yosemite.
What is the app called?
It is called Yosemite.
It's called the Yosemite app. So, and it shows trails and stuff.
And it's part of the National Park Service app, and it has a lot of stuff that's not in, a lot of information that is not included in the maps, such as this trail was not included in the maps, or on anything that talked about the trails.
All right, so we made it.
We did. We did not quit.
Inspiration point. We thought we were going to quit when we were down there and decided to keep going, didn't we?
We did, but we kind of took a wrong turn right there, and we were right on the edge. And so we came back and it got easier, but then it was a lot of shale.
So we're 1.3 miles into this hike to get up here, and the map thing said it was 500 feet.
Of elevation?
I think it's more like 500 meters.
Well,
and maybe that's a typo, but it's very pretty up here. I'm inspired to not do this again.
me too.
I don't know if you knew, but I tried counting my steps up here, but I got lost somewhere around 3.
It's like trying to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop.
Exactly. But I heard that there's a shortcut right there, straight down. If you want to, you could just kind of hang out over the edge and let go.
Around the corner of those trees,
It would
those are really good.
save you the misery of going down. But I'm wondering if there's any climbers over there on El Capitan, and if we could see them from here, if they were. I'm just going to say I see one being chased by a bear, and you can't see it in the video. There he goes. Oh, look, he's winning. That bear's got a lot of weight getting up there. You know what that reminds me of is, again, Princess Bride.
Mm-hmm.
When Andre the Giant's pulling his way up that mountain, carrying, I have to carry you two. He has to carry nothing.
He's gaining on us.
Inconceivable.
You're supposed to be this great thing.
Yeah, this great giant. So this is pretty nice.
Probably our most strenuous walk. I mean, we didn't know it was this strenuous.
Yeah.
And it says easy in the app, and not that we can't handle it, it's just you like to know what you're getting into.
It does.
And if it's a national parks app,
You'd think it would be correct.
Yeah.
But I mean, we have an elevation meter. It shows us what our elevation is right now.
yep,
And it says
we're at 5,430 feet.
5430.
And we started at 44.
Yeah, I think we were 4,400 even. So maybe it's not 1,500, but it's over 1,000 anyway. And in our shape, with what we haven't been able to do.
Right. Well, I'm
That's-
proud of myself for being able to do it.
Me too.
I'm
You're doing
encouraged.
great. I mean, what
Thanks,
a change
hon.
from a couple weeks ago.
For sure.
I would say, a day and a half in, Yosemite is definitely not a disappointment. We've learned from the other parks not to plan on trying to camp in the parks. And it makes it a little easier when we don't make the mistake of trying to come in and
Right. And
stuff.
after we drove, 45, 50 minutes this morning, and we get to the park entrance and it says all campgrounds are full. Imagine if you'd pulled your camper all the way in, around and up those
Yeah,
hills, just
and
for them to tell you it's full.
It's a 3,000-foot climb
Yeah.
from where we are staying to get in here.
So planning ahead is great if you can.
But it sure is beautiful. And the weather, we picked a great time to be here.
I'm glad we didn't wait till next week.
Yes, but yeah, next week's supposed to be not as good.
Not as still sunny, just 10 degrees cooler.
Somebody getting a nice ride, although hopefully it's not for the wrong reason. Helicopter could be medical. Because I don't know if they allow helicopter tours. Since this is the only helicopter we've seen, I'm going to presume that's not a tour. So we checked our elevation when we were up there after our 500-foot supposed climb, and we were at 5,443, and now we're at 4,443.
It says 444. It's
4444. That's 4445.
I believe that is
4444.
so. John wants me to show you all the leaves and the colors. There's the sun. Whee! It's just golden. That's west, and this is what's east of us.
No. We are at Mariposa Grove, and this is a portion of Yosemite Park with these sequoia trees. And that's a small one, I believe. They're not tall relative to how girthy they are.
Correct. I wonder how they keep the fires away from this area.
Yeah. I don't know if I can get in the whole thing.
There's a mushroom growing on that one.
I mean, that tree is 10 feet behind Amy. 8 feet anyway. So yeah, it's more like 12 to 15 feet across.
And I'm 5'3".
Yeah, I mean, it gives a distorted look. It makes it look like your wingspan's almost as big as a tree, but you're
Really?
you're so much closer that, you know, it's very big.
There, how's this? And they're beautiful.
Whammy.
Hope the pine cone doesn't fall on my head.
Okay, ask a question, get an answer. As you can see, there was a fire here not too long ago, and we got our answer about the trees and how they protect them. These trees protect themselves for the most part. The fact that their limbs are up there, you know what, 70, 80 feet off the ground, there's nothing, you know, to catch it because the fire isn't going to go that high. The bark is extremely thick, and I guess every year it adds a layer to that bark, which adds even more. And the thickness of the bark provides an insulating factor against a fire. So here you see some sequoias with some obvious scorch marks on them where the fire raged, but it didn't really hurt the tree any.
Doesn't appear to.
That's why these trees are still here 2,000 years later.
I'm gonna need a bigger chainsaw.
"209 feet tall, 23-foot diameter, 96-foot circumference at the base." This is the kind of the oldest, most grizzled tree at the park. Look at those limbs. Those limbs are the size of a huge oak tree coming out the side of it. Basically from here to here is all bark. That's what they're talking about with and it's kind of soft and airy, so that's how it provides the insulation. It's really interesting. It's unique for me, for a tree. I'm gonna walk around a piece of bark. That actually, I don't think is a sequoia pine cone. I think this is, which is weird. The teeny little pine cones from the sequoias. I think that pine cone is from these ponderosis.
Looks
right
like
here.
a pineapple skeleton.
It does.
It really
Pineapple skeleton. Yeah, it's a big one.
Where'd the fruit go?
The trail we took yesterday, the hike we took, if we would have continued another 4 miles up that hike, it would have brought us here. This is called Glacier Point. But if we would have finished that hike, we'd be dead right now. Because 1.3 miles was far enough. We did not need to go 4 more miles of that torture. My calves still hurt. But this is the view from Glacier Point.
Worth a drive.
It was a very cool drive. I'll tell you what, I think the drive was as rewarding of a drive as I've taken. I had my eyes closed half the time because I was scared of heights. Not really, but it's really something. Over there, I'm gonna go back to this. That's Half Dome. Down day, as Vivi would say, down day is where all of the activities are for the valley that we were doing yesterday. The videos that we took were from down there. Really, really, really stunning view.
Right here. Great.
This is where we were, Yosemite Lodge. So that's.
God, that rock is nuts.
Isn't it?
You see
where we
cars
were
I wonder if
yesterday.
anyone's ever wingsuit jumped off.
way down there.
Probably.
Oh, I'm sure they have.
Apparently there's people just hung by their fingertips off the edge of it.
Oh my God. I can't even get closer than this.
That's just crazy.
I'm not even afraid of heights.
Worse than that.
Like,
Yeah.
you wanna, I mean, I'm not gonna go out there.
No.
Yeah,
Just looking at it makes me dizzy.
I know.
Just looking at his height makes me dizzy.
That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, so here, the Yosemite Falls.
Yeah, that's over there.
So where is that?
That's that rock. That's this gully.
I think it's that one.
This must be that rock, so it has to be.
Yeah, it's that.
Oh yeah, you can see the water.
Yeah. Well, you don't see the water.
Oh, and that's lower.
Yeah. Here. This was perhaps our coolest stop in all of Yosemite at Glacier Point, and in a second you're going to see why as we're driving out of here. It's just these hairpin turns, really narrow road, I mean right on the edge, which gives me the heebie-jeebies. Is heebie-jeebies a word?